Animal updates. Amy bids farewell to her firstborn. And Melissa is powerless. All this and more on today's Brilliant Observations.
Well, fuck, no hyperbole there. Shit britches, God, that sounds very sad in both cases.
It is. Oh, so start saying actually all three cases, because the first one was animal updates. Well, first of all, hi, Amy.
Hi,
How
boo.
are you?
Hi, boo. Hello. How are you?
So, dear listener, before we start recording, you should panic. Amy and I are in different homes on different parts of the East Coast. So we both, get into our office respectively, and we have our own little routine of setting up. Amy lights a candle, kicks the dog out, or sets the dog up or whatever it is. And we have other things up on our computer. So when we are both in this chat room waiting to start, Amy must have other things up on her computer and doesn't realize I can see her in her room.
What? What are you talking about? What?
Well, 10 minutes ago, I would say you opened up this app that we use to record.
I was straightening my office so you wouldn't see it.
And
have you been watching the whole time? Have you been watching the whole time?
I fired it up and I saw you were there, so I just assumed you saw I was here as well.
Well, you couldn't hear anything, so it's just you were just watching what I was doing.
No,
through the viewer.
You couldn't hear anything. I could hear everything. I heard your whole conversation with your canine about whether he wants in, he wants out. How I watched you light 7 candles, matches that wouldn't light, so you had to leave.
Matches expire, those fuckers. Did you know that matches expire? Regarde. So this is from Manio, North Carolina, the Weeping Radish Brewery, which probably doesn't even exist anymore. This matchbook is so old. Surely it's 18 years old, at least, probably more than that. And I pulled it out of a drawer because I always have little matchbooks like this around. Totally new matchbook. I went through 5 matches, none of them light. And then I thought, you know what? It's just the back of the pack. The little strike plate probably has died. So I used a new strike plate from another matchbook that I'm out of matches, but I know the plate works. No. So all these fucking matches I have are worthless because they had so much worth to begin with.
They were so valuable at their inception.
Well, I do have a lot of them.
That's a segment for our next show. Does this expire?
Oh, God.
Things that you didn't realize do expire. Dear listener, please write in and tell us things that we don't realize have expiration dates. I've gone through the food one with you before and medicine one with you before. Remember? We did medicines.
Yeah. I mean,
what else expires that we weren't aware of?
Condoms definitely expire.
Do you mean like the one that's been in your husband's wallet since the 7th grade?
They have expiration dates printed right on them. They expire. They absolutely expire. So you gotta watch what you're doing, kids. Safety first. So, but that's going to come up later in our child drop-off segment. Holy God Almighty!
I'm not ready for that yet. I wanted to give you an animal update, which is phrased differently on our board, but I know several canines in the last week who have passed away.
Oh, for goodness sake, that's so sad. No.
I just want to send love to their owners. A neighbor of mine lost her small yippy dog who she complained about for over 14 years.
Is this Chablis crap?
That was 2 houses ago.
Okay.
And I'm that idiot in the backyard now yelling Chablis crap.
Okay. Chablis crap.
Crap. You're
the whole thing, the name, the decision to make the make ready command crap so that you get to yell out crap.
My dog craps on command.
Not
Watch.
Poop, not shit, not go, not just crap.
Right. You let
my child's crap trained. I trained him. He doesn't use the potty. He craps.
I let my wife name the dog,
Chablis.
but I do
Crap.
all the commands. Right. I do all the commands. Chablis. It's just such a manly thing to yell crap in the backyard.
And Chablis.
And right, my wife took care of naming everything, and my execution is.
And
is
I'm out
flawless.
here in the rain at 2 a.m.
Exactly.
Okay. So back to the very real sadness of a loss of a family member. That sucks. It's very sad.
Yeah, and one of our dearest listeners, Cameron, he lost a dog this week. Yeah.
How do you know?
Facebook.
You'll see lower on the board. Facebook hiatus. That's so sad. Cameron, well, fuck that, man. That sucks. Oh.
Yeah.
It's
the
sad.
worst.
So sad. And there's
It's the worst.
kids involved, too, in Cameron's house. So that means that there's the rolling sadness of everybody having,
Yeah, and you're having your feelings, and you know you're supposed to support other people and their feelings, and you're like, fuck you all. This is my loss.
That's right.
This
was my pet first before you fuckers came around.
Yeah,
no, we don't talk about our kids that way in public.
We just think it. Be kind of a bitch.
It's the one. I love that shirt.
Yeah, so I just want to send some pretty intense love out there for this loss, and we know. So yeah, I mean, it's everything. I remember saying, I'll trade ya for this human on 2 legs if I could have my 4-legged friends back, but that's evil and inappropriate. So sending out tons of love. Oh, and the other animal update, what's it been? 4 months, 5 months? We've been in quarantine 5, 6. So we're at the 6-month mark. And then I go down to Melissa, 6 months for what? Listen up. I go down to the basement. I do a ride. I come upstairs. I sit in what Stuart has labeled my recovery chair because for some reason I can ride hard, but walking up that flight of stairs is more than my spinny head can handle. So I sit down for a minute, and he comes in to see if I'm okay, and I hear, oh, crap, somebody shit in the house.
Oh, uh-oh.
So I would like you, dear listener, to know it's 0 days since last incident.
Oh.
Was
it one of your pets?
I hope. I mean, I can only hope. My son left early to go to work this morning.
How early for a bakery?
Well, the bakery opens at 7, but he doesn't have to bake.
That's late for a bakery, I think.
Yeah. So I think at 4:30, the head baker is in there, and my son arrives to sell and clean. So that's what.
No, that's easier. Okay.
I'll say. So. Although that's not what his college essay will tell you.
Uh-oh.
Not that I know anything about it. But.
We'll jump to it. So what's the updating saga on your saga on your college essay antics? What's up? What happened? What's the woods? Don't make a face. No one can hear your face.
So, yeah, each school has their own pile of shit that
Indeed,
they
do.
want.
Indeed, they do. I'm well versed.
I wish that he had that architecture interest, because then he'd have a portfolio that he could just copy and send out.
Oh, don't wish for it. And they all have different formats. But anyway, go ahead.
Oh, really? That's how they fuck you.
It was another layer of bullshit. So you had all the individual differences with the applications, the unique questions for essays, and in some cases, if they don't follow the rubric, then you have to upload all of your sports and awards and shit. So you're doing that tedium crap over and over and over and over and over in different ways, fiddly. And when it gets time to the portfolio, one wants it this way, one wants it that way, one refuses it at all. Refuses it. And you know what? It just occurred to me that the one place that he is still waitlisted on and hasn't heard back from, and they're top 5 nationally for architecture, refused his portfolio altogether. They said, we do not accept portfolios, and they don't accept letters of recommendation. They don't. So they probably just do a numbers game until they get you where they want you.
Can I ask you a question?
You can.
Did you just experience a 5.1 magnitude earthquake?
Not now. You mean just this moment? I didn't see you shaking. Were you shaking?
You.
No. You look around me. No, nothing's moving. Why? Did you get an alert?
Earthquake struck shortly after 8 Sunday morning. Houses shook for several seconds. It was a 5.1.
Where? In what?
On the Richter scale.
Okay, Andy Richter. So where?
5.1 magnitude earthquake rattles Carolinas and Tennessee.
Yeah, no, not me. I'm sure it did. I trust that. But no, I've felt an earthquake before. I've been in an earthquake here. I was in Winston-Salem, and I felt it. So, no, this was no earthquake. This was no earthquake. Right. If it happened, where it happened was not here. So, Godspeed. Oh, yes, Sparta's very far away. Godspeed, people. No, not me. I'm not in Sparta. Long live Sparta.
Sparta. We just made our kids watch Troy.
Oh, did you? I don't even know that one.
As our forced family fun.
That's no, I don't even know that it exists. Is it super good? Who's in it? Who's wearing not enough clothes? Who?
Yes, it's Brad Pitt is Achilles.
Oh, that's why I didn't watch it. I remember when it
Eric
came out.
Bana.
Yeah. Oh, Eric Bana. Wait. I may be rethinking my decision here. Okay.
Yeah.
I love that Eric Bana.
Yeah.
I do.
Sorry, dear listener.
He's a good time.
We digress.
He's a good time. Brad Pitt. I don't know. Pass. I mean, he's just such a pass.
Well, Brad Pitt in Legends of the Fall, yes, 1,000 times.
Yeah, because he's a real human and he hasn't figured out anything yet.
And he's dirty as fuck.
That's all yes. All yes. And then he's like, oh, wait a minute. I'm a glistening god. And it's like, yeah, go fuck yourself because I'm not interested in doing that. So
you think he drank his own Kool-Aid and then he's like,
he's no, this is another, I'm going to get into Jason Bateman territory. Excuse me, Mr. Bateman. But, until our next dinner party together, this is, Brad, this is how it's going to go. Every interview that I hear with him, he is the weirdest combination of Sean Penn, urgency and empty-headed mosquito brain. I'm sure he's great. No, I'm sure he's great.
Yeah, I love you didn't even have to say anything after your phrase of with no evidence whatsoever. So the question is, should Brian and Stuart have a rebuttal podcast to the shit we sling at them on the regular?
Well, Brian would have to start listening in order to have a rebuttal podcast because he doesn't listen, period. Ever.
He listens to his friends when they're all like, dude.
No, he doesn't. I just told him, I just told him that he's on here and what I said. And he's like, that's it. He gets enough of my horseshit.
I gotta go order some T-shirts, Amy. I can't talk to you right now.
He did order a T-shirt. It was really nice. So he ordered one and gave it to our middle child. I don't know why.
What kind of T-shirt?
It's a shirt that says fishing on it, and no one here fishes. Like it's the kind of thing where I'm wondering, how did you end up with this shirt?
Did you come with something?
Did you go out and buy some fishing apparatus? Like I don't know how. Like it was very strange, but it's a really nice long sleeve dry fit shirt with like a logo on the front. And it fits beautifully. It's like I'm like, oh, we need to get more of these. Why is this here? He gets a lot of stuff as a thank you for ordering this thing that you use for work. So we're going to send you a logoed, monkey wrench, like
sounds
things that
great.
are the weirdest. Yeah,
sounds great. No, really, it sounds great. To answer your initial question, because I do want to know about. I want to know about college drop-off. To answer your initial question, the dates are, one of the colleges requires, we're going over the different requirements, and my son says to me, this one has to be 500 words, no more than 750. This one is 200 words. I'm like, well, you really can't get your story in 200 words or 150 words. And then he goes, oh, Mom, this one needs to be 160 characters.
Oh my gosh, are you going to the University of Twitter?
I said, they want you to tweet a response to this essay question?
You have to, I'm sorry, you have to share what university asked for 160 characters.
It's the University of Maryland. And
What?
they have some questions. I mean, I think they take the Coalition app. So
Okay.
there's an essay involved and they have whatever, but they also have these
Supplemental questions.
yes, that are not required but are recommended. Wink,
Yeah.
wink, don't bother waiting for your response if you don't answer these. So it's like they're ridiculous. What did you do last Thursday? Might have been one of them. Like they're ridiculous.
How do you feel about Mondays? Those were the supplemental questions on the Coalition app for 2020.
I can answer the Monday question, but not in 160 characters. What? That's hard.
Very weird. Is this UMBC? Or We always call it UMBC, which is University of Maryland, Baltimore County.
No.
And we love it because it was You Must Be Crazy.
Oh, so the other thing is with the University of Maryland, which, when I applied to the University of Delaware, I applied to Maryland too. I put them in the same category because they were both not New York State schools.
Big neighboring-ish states with large
schools.
reputations. Yeah. And let's go. Let's bring it. Yeah.
Well, University of Maryland, their incoming freshman class or homestaying freshman class this year had the average GPA of 4.1.
Right.
Why do you say right? That wasn't, where the fuck do you get off
That's on the average. That's high. But expected or, their target, it's not as high as I've heard from other schools.
Other schools, but Maryland? I mean, maybe Dartmouth, but Maryland?
No. We ain't applying to fucking Dartmouth. No, I see also, I refer you to Pods of Yore, when it is my opinion that the rise of these combined universal applications and the requirement for universities to increase their census year over year has created a perfect storm of everyone applies everywhere. So the volume of applications everywhere goes up significantly. So the requirements to get in everywhere become harder.
So their acceptance rates go lower.
Which benefits them. So they actively recruit. My son was actively recruited by Notre Dame. He ain't fucking going to Notre Dame. Even if he got in, which he would not, he ain't going there because we're a Michigan family. So I'm just saying, what are you doing? Why are you sending me? They sent us like in cellophane bound books, that kind of recruitment. Yeah, it's like, come on, stop it. I don't even think they have an architecture program. It's that dumb. Yeah, I went through, I've been cleaning my office, and I was going through, he has an entire drawer dedicated, and I wish that I wasn't such a strange person. I should probably just leave that there I wish I wasn't such a strange person. Period. That applies to, I'd get a business card made. I wish I wasn't such a strange person. Flip it over. Hi. Yeah. So he has an entire drawer dedicated in my office to all of his, hey, you want to fill it out? So all that stuff is sitting there, and I thought, time to throw you away because it will not benefit the next one coming up in 2.5 years. Everything's going to be different and crazy. Doesn't matter. Throw it out. But I hovered for a moment. I haven't thrown it out yet. I hovered for a moment and thought, is there some college struggling university person who is looking for the competitive research of what does it look like to be a senior? What kind of barrage of information are you up against? Are you trying to get? Do you want to see how many times? It just seems like it's so much data that I'm going to dump, and money, but data that I'm just going to dump in the trash. And the answer is, yeah, I'm going to dump that in the trash. Nobody cares about my focus group of one, but still, it's a lot of paper.
So following up on what you just said, it seems like from high up, I'm trying not to use any names, they're trying to really get rid of the postal system. From super high up.
You can use all the names you want. It's Luda Joyce, lives down the street.
So I'm kind of horrified by this. People are being told, postal carriers are being told to delay the mail.
Well, I can clarify that for you a little bit.
Keep in mind that my sister-in-law is pretty high up at the postal system.
What? Who? Okay. What? Okay. What?
Yeah. And
wait. What?
They canceled out all overtime. They're telling
that
people if you haven't
say.
finished your route as you hit regular time, let it sit. They're telling people, like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, what I've heard is, well, first what you need to know is about Lou DeJoy. So Louis DeJoy is a Greensboro resident, and he goes to our church and has, lots and lots of money. Formerly having run a logistics company and sold it and made bazillions when he sold it, and then has been doing things with his money like giving it to the church and giving it to Republicans and supporting Donald Trump, for which he and his wife have been recommended to high positions. He has recently been named head of the Postal Service. He also has hundreds of thousands, maybe more, I don't pay much attention, hundreds of thousands of dollars invested in competitors to the Postal Service. So he has a vested interest in competition to the Postal Service. So in normal fashion, Donald Trump has hired someone to lead an organization who does not wish for the future of the organization. That's what he did with Betsy. That's what he does. That's his MO. That's what he was
Education,
hired
environment. Yes.
Yeah,
He's
he
blowing
actively
shit up.
Well, no, he actively recruits people to dismantle organizations. This isn't a secret. It's not an opinion. That's a promised fact from his campaign. So he's doing the same thing with the post office.
Regulations, environment,
right.
all of it.
Yeah, D, breakdown,
Yep.
no, un. Okay, so the first thing that he did was come in and cancel overtime. The second thing that he did was violate the most sacred norm of the Postal Service, which is do not let mail sit. So those two things in combination have drastically slowed down the mail, because now it used to be do not let mail sit. Rule number 1, do not let mail sit. Rule numbers 2 through all other rules, do not let mail sit. Get it out at all costs, right? Through the fucking dark of night. Everybody knows the fucking post office. That's the reason to be for the post office. So he decided, no, you're going to let it sit because 2, I'm also not going to pay you any overtime. So
I'm giving you no incentive to get your work done.
Well, worse, I'm actually preventing you from doing the operating mechanism that everyone has done here since this place was created.
And everybody relies upon.
And we were on a fucking horse. Now, why do people care about the post office? The real reason people should and need to care about it is because they deliver everywhere and no one else does. It should be noted that private services, yeah, from a business standpoint, they may be more efficient. They may have alternative benefits to the United States.
Financially, right.
Guess what? The United States Post Office is the only delivery service that is, up until now, mandated to deliver to every address, period. So there are places that can deny you to get your stuff. So this is another way for the long-term potential exclusion of people. Not to mention, why the fuck we gonna vote now? Because
yes, that's the reason it's starting on this decline, because voting by mail is very popular in pandemic-y times. And there are, 4 states that already are 100, 2 to 4, I don't remember, are already all vote by mail.
13 states.
That are all vote by mail?
I believe it's 13 states who already vote by mail exclusively, among them Colorado and Oregon. For years now,
Fucking
Oregon.
hippies. I love
Oregon,
those states.
they mail it to you without asking, and there is no other way to vote. If you want to vote, we've sent it to your house, fill it out, and send it back.
Go home. Open your mailbox.
There is no other way to vote.
This is the John Buchanan stream where the mail is obsolete, and this is where he and I, it's the only place, no it's not, where we butt heads, because he laughed at me when I said I write a thank you note. He laughed at me when I said I still send out a holiday magnet card, whatever, because if it were up to him, the mail wouldn't exist because of things like the drawer your son has in your office of all of that shit, all of that money, all of that waste. But my argument really is, if there's a system, any system, put one in your head, think about it, there will be abuse of that system. Be it doesn't matter what it is, be it healthcare, veterans, whatever it is, there will be abuse of every system. Does that mean the system should not be there? Does that mean, so it's really a tactic to, like you said, interrupt voting and interrupt. I just want to know how much more damage he could do in the next 85 days. And it's not a challenge, dear listener. I'm not challenging him to do more. I'm saying help.
I would posit to you that the damage is already done, because like so much of the current administration's tactics, like so many of them, it's perception that guides what's happening. The perception that anything goes, the perception that it's okay to be rude and not have any consequences, the perception that what was true yesterday doesn't have to be true today, the perception that the post office magically doesn't work anymore. Because a week of slowed down or late mail could be for any possible reason, but how many people are going to use that as justification to not trust absentee voting, not trust mail-in ballots, to decide? I mean, I was watching the news yesterday, And it said something, someone has written a book and crunched all the numbers. So I'm referencing that book if I get the numbers wrong. Every hour that you wait in line to vote reduces your likelihood to vote in the next election by 25%. So we're still seeing so that there were 220 fewer thousand voters in Florida in 2016 than there were in 2008, and they can trace that to this and to that due to long lines. And I mean, we already know here in North Carolina, in my county, where they have closed polling locations and they have reduced early voting. There's just a lot of things that are going on with voting. I don't understand how things that are as simple and beneficial to every citizen of our country can be so manipulated in a way that benefits no one. In a way that benefits no one.
It does benefit people who don't want those people to vote.
It's a pendulum. It benefits no one. Gerrymandering benefits no one because the backlash is just to do it to the other team. It's been happening back and forth and back and forth. Like it's just it is ridiculous. Yeah, it's temporarily benefiting one over the other, but then the other is going to come back hard. It's just nonsensical. Things like the mail, things like voting. The idea that we haven't, as a nation, sorted out how to automatically keep track of how many citizens we have, enable them the right to vote, and get letters to go to their house, including communications from the government. These services are so small. They're so small that we can't figure out if you can do everything online, including manage your Social Security, your tax payments. You can do all of that secure financial information online, but magically we can't figure out or trust that your yes or no vote, your one person yes or no vote is magically not safe. Come on.
Yeah, their theory is that it would be hacked because now China and Russia have this huge war going on between which candidate they want. And I don't remember asking either one of them. I don't remember giving a shit about either one of them.
Did you see? I mean, we've all seen that documentary back in the days of Al Gore when they found those ballots in Florida thrown in the trash. It wasn't mail fraud. It wasn't voter fraud. It was the officials who were supposed to be counting them put them in the street. I mean, there's so many different... If somebody wants to do some malfeasance, they're going to be able to do it.
If there's a system, there will be abuse in every possible way. The system I want to know about is the system you had about getting all of those IKEA boxes from your dining room to, I assume, 2 cars, 3, 1?
What are you talking about?
And driving your son to college.
We had 4 bags total.
How?
You saw them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Plus a laundry bag. That's it. And the laundry bag was filled with a pillow. That's it. He's a boy. He refused everything. He took the not plan. I don't want a rug. I don't want a new comforter.
So
I don't want this. I don't want to. And it's the South, so I don't need a parka. I don't want boots. I don't want this. I don't want.
Okay, so you drive him to school. You get to campus.
It fit in the trunk of my car, period. Including a hand truck. We used the official hand truck for my husband, like the big one that UPS would have, just so we wouldn't have to carry it. That's it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fit on one load of the hand truck, every item. And that's it. I carried nothing to help him move in.
Did you leave the disco with him?
No. We decided not to. He has the opportunity to have a car on campus his first year. He is assigned a parking space. So it's not like you can have access to a lot. You get one space, and it was, 14 miles, whatever. It was far. That's a lie.
It was at the field house.
It was far away from him in a covered deck where the only reason that he would have his car is to bug out of Dodge. So the idea the idea of putting his car there and paying to park it for it potentially to get broken into or where he's never going to see it or check on it, it seems stupid.
So you take this boy and you bring these bags in there. Did you make his bed?
We all had to because it was a loft. It's so high. Made in the sense that he's another one of these kids who doesn't want a top sheet.
Yeah, my kids don't top sheet either.
They're so fucking gross.
It's not gross.
It's beyond gross. It's not fine.
It's fine.
Gross. How many times do you wash your comforter?
Well, once a month.
Okay. How many times would you wash your top sheet?
I don't top
if
sheet
you had one. Yeah.
weekly.
Come on now.
Stop.
You're wrapping all your business up in the
Sure am. But it's my business. Look, I'm going to be happy if my
It's
kids
too
go to
hot.
college and
It's
wash
too
their
hot.
sheets.
Oh, he's not ever going to wash his sheets. But I'm just saying the comforter is so gross. And I sent him with a whole second set of sheets.
Yeah.
Please, don't even wash them, honey. All you got to do is remove them. Throw them out for all I care. Because I will after you bring them home. I'm not letting that bed bug shit in here.
So you made his bed, did you? And nothing's hanging on the wall because he's 0-0.
He wants nothing on the walls. He started to get twitchy. You pull in. Everyone is masked. They give you a drive up. You can park here, and they give you a giant bin, which we didn't need because we had the hand truck. And they direct you. You walk in. Your child, go get your key. You guys can unload here. As soon as you've unloaded, either we will watch your stuff or leave someone to watch your stuff, and then you go to the designated parking. So it's kind of like an airport thing.
Yep.
You show up, you drop off, you leave. My husband did that. We put everything on the hand truck. By the time and we took the one load of the hand truck up into the room on the second floor, carried it up. My husband left with the hand truck to go officially move the car. It was that fast, right? So by the time he came back from parking the car, we were totally unpacked. There was nothing more to do.
Wow. And then what?
It was about 18 minutes.
And then what?
We stood around, took a couple of pictures. What do you want to do? He's sort of looking at us like, time
Get
for you
out.
to go home.
Yeah.
Well, I said, let's go we had to get a student ID printed. So we had to drop off some forms. So we went and did those two things, which was he lives within steps of the giant student building.
Perfect.
So we went in the giant student building. And then we said, okay, let's figure out where your nearest dining hall is. There was 2 to pick from. We picked one, walked over there, had lunch in the dining hall. It was all socially distanced. You had to go through a weird, the dining hall obviously was before social distancing. So they have you routing through this strange roped off area, like follow this area instead of just walking to go pick, because it would have been an open area where you can choose, I'm going to walk to this station or that station. So instead they snaked you in the world's stupidest way because it was the only way to get through that space and be social distance. So you're like, this is really dumb. And we're the only ones in there. So it's like,
okay.
Anyway, we did all that, sat down. They had half the tables all roped off. You could only sit at some. And I've told you this before, they set up these massive tents everywhere. So if we chose to, it was too hot. If we chose to, we could sit outside in a massive, massive tent with rows and rows of dozens with an S of giant picnic tables and fans and lights and Wi-Fi and everything. So they have the tents there if you want to be outside. We ate. And then we were,
How was leaving?
That was it.
Big hug?
Nope. Simple. See ya.
High
Bye.
five?
I mean, yeah, here's a hug. Bye. That's it. Go to the car. I didn't cry at all. I didn't cry at all. It was really hard on Hubs. And I was I think still riding and stressed from
the whole week that led to it.
Well, and I don't really mean this, but factually it's true. I did it all. Do you know? I did every one of the pieces of paper. I did find the notary public who is closed on the day that you need one, and how do we get this done to make sure that this is, and did this submit the right way, and did somebody sign off on it, and oh wait, you need a different photo, and blah, 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 blah. I've been doing that for weeks, including sorting through every piece of clothing.
This was almost a relief for you.
It was, and when the other thing is our day got moved up. I don't know if I've mentioned this. So you're assigned a time. You're only given 3 hours. We didn't even need that much. You're only given so that they can have fewer people in the halls, in the room, the whole thing. Everybody was wearing masks. It felt really, really safe, honestly. They moved us up because a hurricane was scheduled to hit during our normal time, and it did hit. So they said to prevent it, we're moving you a day earlier, and we're moving other people a day later. So we ended up having to shorten everything. Like I had a whole business day worth of paperwork that I was going to handle that, nope, you're in the car. So there was a lot of, so when I finally got it done and we got into the car, I didn't even, it took me a solid, 26 hours to actually realize, okay. And then the simple thing, and everyone was sending texts and being super sweet and, how hard this is and posting and all the rest of this and just checking in on me. A lot of people just trying to check in, people who have been there before, people who haven't been there before but can at least, guess what this is like. So all of that, I didn't respond to. It took me a while to respond to all of those because I was like, I'm not going to touch that yet. I can't. And then when it really hits you is at the supermarket picking up a box of the favorite shape of pasta and then putting it back because that child won't be there and nobody eats that pasta but that child. So it's like those things where you're like, oh, right, he won't be here for the ever.
Stop it with your ever.
It's the fucking truth.
It is not the truth. If you look at statistics, he's more likely to take that bedroom back at the end of college than anything else, which is my biggest fear. So I'd love a reason to cry.
No.
And
And safety first. He could be here in a week. But all I'm trying to say is it's
such an opportunity for him, Amy. It's so great for him to be out on his own and
ready. He's ready. There are ways that he is not ready, and they have nothing to do with school. He was not ready at home in our home in the ways, you know what I mean? If he couldn't get it figured out here, being at school isn't going to make it worse. So those are the things that I'm sort of like it has to do with waking up on time and taking daily medication.
I'm excited for him.
So those are the two things that are the only fear. In every other way, he's fucking ready. He's ready.
So they moved you up because of a storm that they did not even mention was coming to us.
Yes. So the hurricane arrived the next day, and it went so fast that he didn't even hear it. Normally when hurricanes come through, they knock down buildings. But guess what? It said, we think that you should enjoy some of our hurricane. Well, did you want it? Here you go.
I didn't need it, but what Asiasis thought was that we didn't need power for 4 days. So
are you back on?
We are back on. We just came back on yesterday.
Well, you still had your generator. You had your generator during all
So that's what everybody says. You have a generator, Melissa. Guess what my generator doesn't do?
I don't know. Tell me.
So it's not a whole house generator. It's it feels like it's just an air conditioning on the main floor generator. So what we do is we rig a series of power cords to power the freezers, the non-kitchen freezers. So, the body one we have in the garage that we can hold 2 bodies cut up real nice or one folded perfectly. And the basement one, which used to be our refrigerator freezer before we moved here, and they had the built-in. So we rig that up, and I also use that one to light up my Peloton bike because
oh my god,
power's out for 4 days, but this girl needs some power. So I powered that up too from that. But what it doesn't do, my fine feathered friends, is it does not do the air conditioning on the top floor, which is where we all sleep. So for 4 nights, we really did sleep in puddles of our own sweat, or 3 nights, 4 days. It was very soupy. It was very soupy here. But I mean, all of our my 7 ice cream cakes from my birthday in July were still fine. So we get to eat ice cream and then sleep in our own filth. Everybody called, you're fine. Like, we are fine. But I have to sleep tonight. Next, with the, when you sleep with a fan and your throat's dry and your eyes dry out, and I don't like the fan sleep, but you don't really have a choice, or you'll die if you don't.
Wait, do you not use an overhead fan in your room all the time anyway?
I don't.
Do you have an overhead fan in your room all the time anyway?
In every bedroom and the office.
And you turn them off? You leave them off?
Well, I don't live in the South. We'll start there. I am in mid-Atlantic-y, but yeah.
No, I'm in my parents' home, but that's because they have no air conditioning. I say that all the time. They absolutely have air conditioning, but that should explain to you how often they have it on, because both my brother and I growing up didn't think we had air conditioning, but we do. They just never turn it on. So the ceiling fan is the
crucial.
The stuff of life. No, my husband can't be anywhere without a Beyonce fan going on him. So no matter how cold it is. I told you this before. Our friend Janine stayed with us in Richmond in our guest room. She could see her breath in our house.
That's crazy.
Yep. He likes the shit cold. All right, anyway.
That's crazy. So our power came back on eventually, and the dog stopped freaking out because the generator 24/7, and but yeah, we were powerless for a few days. My neighbor doesn't have a generator. She went and stayed at a hotel with 3 kids and a dog in one hotel room. I would rather sleep in my own filth. And I then washed my comforter because I don't use a Topsheet. So after those days in my own filth, you should be happy to know.
I know that I'm like the last bastion of top-sheetedness, but that's another way to keep you cool. It's wonderfully thin and it's nice and
No,
silky
I need like
feeling,
40
and it's
pounds
cool.
on me when I'm sleeping. I need like a third grader laying on top of me when I'm sleeping.
I bought Rock a weighted blanket, and he really did love it for a few minutes, and then he doesn't really love it anymore. So it's here, and shipping that thing was ridiculous. But might as well. I bought a bag of cement and shipped it to myself. Like,
to
that's
go
how
with
ridiculous.
Cementy.
Yeah, well, which I still have.
You should have sent him to college with Cementy.
I bought him a new pillow. I bought 4 new pillows, and and all of them haven't worked for me. The other one, and I tried to return it, and they're such dicks about it. They even said the cost that it's going to take you to return this, and we have a restocking fee, and we have a fuck you fee, and we have a fee. We're prepared to offer you a 50% refund if you just keep it. And I'm like, your product sucks so bad that you've already decided it's okay to take a 50% loss. It sucks.
Really? And why was, I mean, I'm on the search for the perfect
pillow.
pillow.
Sutera sucks. Sutera.
No, don't give them a plug.
They suck. Don't buy them.
It's an anti-plug.
It's an anti-plug. It's a zap.
It's an unplug.
It was one of these, I should have known better. It was one of these, moon pillows where it's got lumps and weird pockets to stick your arms in it. And it's just so dumb. It's like, so even when you look at it, it doesn't even look like a pillow fucking shape. And the person laying on it has their neck go like, ooh, in that little animation. I had no business buying this pillow. But I thought I was trying to buy right by myself. And it took 18 months to get here from China. Because of COVID. Everybody blames COVID. Ridiculous. My husband was trying to buy ink. He's a printer. He was trying to buy ink for his massive, big as the house printing press. And they're like, oh, yeah, we're not doing 2-day delivery because of COVID. And he's like, since when?
Meanwhile, I can still order dog food and get it the next day. So
yeah, fuck you and your laziness is the name.
Try
of that
using
tune.
the USPS. They'll get it to you.
Go take a nap on my horrible brick formed pillow. Shit sucks. It sucks.
I do have a plug. Well, I don't know if I have a plug yet. My daughter requested for her birthday a snack crate. Do you know what that is?
I've seen it because I thought about buying it for my son, but I did not.
Yeah, so they do snacks and treats from all over the world. They pick a different area of the world and they send you either a small box, medium box, large box, and it's a monthly thing you can do or a one-time deal you could do.
Yeah, she lives in your house, right? I mean, this isn't for camp. This isn't for
here.
This isn't for homesick longing. This is for the upstairs.
No, this is for the kitchen, and I got the family.
This is for movie night.
This is for forced family fun. Yeah, but it's not our snacks. I miss our snacks. It's snacks from all over the world. So this month, I don't know, I think it's France. So I'm hoping for good chocolate in there.
Okay.
And she asked for salty and sweet. Like she kind of crafted it the way she wanted it. I will give you an update and tell you if that is a very good gift. Unlike the piñata with the nip-yada with the alcohol. How could you go wrong?
Did you ever order nip-yada?
I have not.
All right. I understand.
But that's okay. Amy, what was your last purchase from Amazon?
It was actually yesterday. I got at the tip of one of these parent groups. I ordered a combination vitamin with zinc, magnesium, calcium, and vitamin D to ship to my son at college to help prevent COVID. Whatever. To be, healthy defense. That's what I got. Why? What was I supposed to get? Did I win a prize?
No. Do you have a list of things saved for later in your cart?
Sadly, I do. And they're all fucking weird because I share. By share, I mean I steal Prime from my husband who has it primarily for work. So the stuff he has in there are always like wall extenders and, weird metal gaskets and things that I can't even identify what they are, let alone realize they would be sold in this online marketplace. But no, I don't have like a list of 14, size C batteries or whatever it might be. Why? What's in your saved list? I'm curious.
No, my last purchase was a 5-pack of telescopic fly swatters. For some reason, I think because we're always opening the doors to let the dogs out, all these flies are like, ooh, air conditioning, and they all come in. So they land on everything. So we got fly swatters, and our job is to kill them all.
I'll say this.
Say it.
A guy that I used to work with had a tennis racket looking thing that was electrified. And it was very, very small. If it was closer to like a ping pong paddle size.
Electrified.
Yeah, it's a fly swatter style handle, so long, and then a ping pong style shape circular paddle that looks like a tennis racket strung up net. And basically, if you touch it to anything,
it's electric. Boogie, boogie, boogie.
Yeah, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead. So yeah, he would basically walk around and go bzzzt, 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 and just kill them, and they would drop. Because there were always like hornets in his fucking house.
Wow, that's even scarier.
Yeah. So anyway, and it was sort of gruesome and great. It was great-some all at once.
My list is like what's still in there. 88 items saved for later.
Why?
What the fuck is that?
You have wish lists. Put it on a wish list.
I don't wish for any of it.
Well, then why is it in your save for later and not deleted?
I don't know. Because
what is it? What
I
is
hold
it?
stuff. What is it? I have the infrared thermometer for adults for your forehead. We
have a couple of those.
My favorite Bissell bark bath, which I have yet to buy, but I want to. You know how you have those steam cleaners for your floor?
Yeah.
They have one for your dog where you rub it on their back and it gives them suds, and then you press a button
and then it goes
and it sucks it back up.
I've seen it. Yeah, just buy that. Why don't you just buy it or else delete it? Make a decision.
That's it. Make a decision on all of these things. I have bifocals that I thought were cute, like little readers. Not bifocals, little readers. For some reason, I have Pop-Tarts from the pantry in there. I don't know why.
Don't buy Pop-Tarts from China. What is wrong with you? Walk down the street. Get your ship-it person to do it.
Yes, that's what I'll do. I have all this stuff in there. 88 items was a little aggressive.
I don't even have 88 items in a shared saved wish list, of which there are several. We do create the lists throughout the year because people are always like, oh, what can I get for this one or that one for the holiday, for this thing, for the birthday? And they don't ever want anything. So from time to time, we'll throw shit in there, but they don't even really want that either. And now everybody's already decided because that's all they've ever wanted. These little fucking grubbers. Give me money. I just want money.
So we have had several conversations about your hair.
Okay.
Where we find it, where it winds up, where it starts, how crazy it is, how curly it is, how awesome it is, how all the things. Have you ever heard of hair training?
No.
Really?
This is another dog eyelid. This is made up pseudoscience. You are fake news. What is it? You are fake pod. You are a pod fake.
Yeah, it's another dog's third eyelid, a real thing that you know nothing about.
It's not. You're just so
People
wrong.
decide to stop washing their hair, to hair train, to get it to stop being so oily, which does sound counterintuitive.
I've got a top sheet for you. That is the stupidest. So I'm going to tell my hair to stop being oily by letting it build up oil. That's a good tactic. I missed something.
There are maybe 1,000 articles
that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. I missed something.
There are 1,000 articles that say why I stopped washing my hair, scalp training, hair training, how I oil treated my hair. I mean, they're just trying to get rid of oily hair. It's one of them's in Southern Living. So I have a friend who's pregnant, and she said, "Girls, I haven't washed my hair in, are you sitting? 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and And it feels so good, and I'm a whole new person, and I'm going to deliver this baby and not have to worry about washing my hair." Come again? I understand that if you wash your hair, it takes away essential oils. So they tell you to do it not every day, every 2 to 3 days. But
let me help you out. This is some cracker-ass white lady. Yeah?
It is a cracker-ass
Yeah, and how much hair does she have? Like 2, 3 hairs?
No.
Compared to me. I'm a
she's
fucking orangutan. Don't come at me with your bullshit white fine-ass baby peach hairs. Have fun not washing them. That's great. I got one hair that is as thick as all of the hairs on your head put together and bundled with a rope. And I got a whole head of them. No is the answer.
Remember when we stopped recording and I said, here's your homework assignment. You're going to go look up third eyelid on the canine?
now I have more homework. I have to do homework.
This
now.
is your new homework assignment, and we will be
for
delving
fuck's
into it next week when we rejoin.
I can tell. I already know. I know it. Listen,
What
you
do
have
you
curly
know?
hair.
Yes.
You have curly hair.
I do.
I don't have any idea. It looks like it's relatively in the, we might call this normal. Would you say that it's fine, normal, or coarse?
I would say it's fine.
Okay, I was going to call it fine, but I didn't want you to get bent out of shape. Our friend Jessica's hair is what's less than fine?
Pube.
Baby fine. No, it's not a pube. It's super, super thin. Like I can't even, thinner than a hair. It's bird hair. She refers to it as bird hair. It's so thin and wispy, like downy, very, very wispy, right? My hair is what you call coarse. I frequently use African American products on my hair because they work the best.
Or horse shampoo.
Yeah, I have it as well. So it is ridiculous, thick, crazy, and horse. It's horse. I have horse hair. Fuck you. So, trying to deal with this, curly hair takes more oil, more product than straight hair. You need it. It dries out faster. And humidity makes hair frizz.
Angry hair.
It makes it a very angry.
Very angry hair.
So
like your
you
uterus.
need these things, right? So frequently people will say, wash your hair with conditioner. Don't even use shampoo. Just use conditioner because your coarse, curly hair will soak it up and it'll behave like normal hair. I kind of can get behind that. But what it also does is create an oil slick on your scalp that makes you look like you can't afford shampoo. Not that you are making a choice based on some Whole Earth blog article you read on Vegan Net Weekly. Stupid and dumb. So it doesn't work. If you would like to have slick, greasy, gross, not shiny, greasy and gross hair that leaves puddles on your pillow, yeah, that shit happens in 2 days.
Well, you should know that the theory behind it is to reduce the amount of oil that your hair produces, and that is the goal of hair training and not washing it.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
I'm going to need you to research.
The goal of reducing the amount of fat on your stomach is not to talk to the fat on your stomach. You have to actually not eat. Okay? There's shit cover your eyes.
Dear
this
fat.
is the stupidest thing. I'm not going to wash my hair and my body will just know. This is back in the time of Steve Jobs telling everybody that because he ate so healthy and lived naturally that he didn't have to wear underarm deodorant. And guess what? He fucking stunk until people told him, we're tired and don't care who you are or how important you are. Wash your armpits and put some underarm deodorant on, you fucking freak. Sorry.
Well, deodorant's another story with its aluminum and cancer-causing whatever. I'm not going to go there because I want you, as your homework assignment, to just look at a couple of articles on hair training. And dear listener, if you have any experience with it and want to share anything.
Tell me, I want to hear from people who have actual hair on their head. I want to hear from people who have actual hair.
Like maybe
that grows out of your head. I have hairbrush breaking hair. My hair doesn't break. I break the brush. I've broken the handle off a hairbrush multiple times just brushing my hair. It's thick.
Would you trust Ginger if she had a story for you on hair training?
Who is Ginger? A friend of yours?
No, yes, but she's also a listener of ours who we hung out with for days in Atlanta.
With the tattoo or without the tattoo? Or the one who does the Outlander podcast?
Yes.
Outlander podcast. Yes, I would trust her. She is normal. She looks good, and she likes sexy people.
And she has fabulous hair.
This is not the one who's pregnant with the weird greasy scalp. Don't tell me that.
No,
Good.
no.
Okay.
That's a friend of mine on the home front who, yeah, so she's done it before. I've seen it on Facebook. Did you say you're taking a break from Facebook? Oh, wait. First, let me tell you. Please let us know if you have any stories about hair training, if you would like to school Amy in hair training and what it really does, because I did such a terrible job of telling her to go research it.
No, and people say you should wash your hair with baking soda. You should wash your hair with apple cider vinegar.
That's the other thing they said.
You should wash your hair with like the clipped off wings of mosquitoes. I mean, it's just, give me a break. The shampoo exists. Use it. You should be making faces.
That's awful.
Is nonsense. It's nonsense. Wash your fucking hair.
Use
a Topsheet. What's wrong with the way? Why?
And wait, throw the postal service in there. Pay the postal service workers.
I know I'm old. I didn't realize I was so fucking geriatric that now I am in full defense of the Topsheet and fucking postcards and what's next.
And stay off my lawn.
Rotary phones.
Stay off my lawn.
Good old fashioned shampoo.
So I did see somebody on Facebook who said, "Oh, Michelle Obama came out and said that she has this like low-grade depression she's been dealing with." And somebody wrote, "What else do they want to blame on our president? How dare they blame this on him?" And I thought, I think I might need to snooze you for another 85 days.
I didn't hear any presidential blame in the fact that I think that having more people dying in 4 months than have died in multiple wars in our entire history as a nation combined is worth being sad about. I didn't mention any administrative anything. It's the reality of the illness that's killing Americans. That's killing citizens of the entire world.
And
that's fucking sad making.
Yes.
That's fucking sad making. If you're not sad, you're that's your problem. No?
Definitely yes. And I thought, I think I should snooze her so I don't have to hear this nonsense and the tie-in and the Trump support. Did you take a break from Facebook?
Well, I inadvertently did. I have some friends who are active Facebook breakers where they say, okay, fuck all you crazy hot nuts. I can't continue with this shit because I'm going to really go on a tirade. So I'm just going to take a step back, go over to Insta and look at the pretty pictures. So I have people who do that, and every few weeks they'll come back and say, yeah, I tried it for another 20 minutes. All y'all fuck nuts is still here. Bye. So I don't do any of that. But due to the hyperactivity, busyness, extra tasks of the past 2 weeks, getting, and moving of dates and getting, blah, 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 blah. I haven't had time to do anything. And when I do have a moment to sit and try to go, it's not going on Facebook. So when I do now go on Facebook, the algorithm is such that I haven't been there in 3 to 4, days, couple of weeks. And it's showing me shit that I don't want to see and that has no relevance to me and people that I it's just all of a sudden, if you step away, it's like a diet. If you stop eating healthy, you gain all this weight in 30 seconds, right? And if you step away from Facebook, it's back to all these people that you don't really talk to or with or care about, and it just keeps giving you more and more and more, and cat videos. I don't ever really want a cat video, right? I don't know why you think I want more. So it's all that kind of stuff. And the whole point of doing it is I love seeing and catching up and keeping up with the people in my immediate and my concentric ring circles of life. I love knowing, oh, you bought a house in the mountains. Isn't that lovely for you? I wouldn't have painted it that color, but good for you. I'm not getting what I used to get out of it, which
I have
is
friends who did that
too. It feels like a happy place in the sense that I feel happy contributing here. I have nothing happy to contribute. I spend all of my time trying to not be so overwhelmed and under it.
You know what time it is for you then? It's time for you to start up your TikTok channel.
Yeah, I haven't got enough access from Microsoft. So how funny is that shit? TikTok.
That's what we're going to do with you. We'll start you up on TikTok.
I'm not. I don't have to generate any more content, believe me.
Believe me.
I just don't like the idea that when you step away, you fundamentally you're stuck in it. You sort of know, if I stop doing this, then it's going to be an even bigger problem when I come back.
Right.
It's like, why am I fucking doing this? What am I getting out of it?
Welcome to Instagram.
Nothing. But I don't get anything. I don't like Insta as a platform. It's harder for me to.
I'm telling you, TikTok is your next venture.
No, I don't want anything.
Dear listener,
like that.
do you have a TikTok channel that you want us to look at? Write us at brilliantobservations@gmail.com. Tell us all about it. We're at Listen Brilliant on all the socials. Come out, check us out. I post a lot of potty art because I like it. I like it. I don't know why, but I really appreciate the giggle that comes with seeing potty art. It brings me joy, and I really hope it brings you joy as well. Please interact with us. We would love, love, love to hear from you.
Last week, I mentioned that there was the opportunity for my husband to respond.
Oh, yes.
To what I thought was a kind of an okay, but maybe questionable post response to something. Go ahead.
I did listen back. And I did while editing, while listening back. And I want to say, I don't want to support Brian in this because he's done some deplorable things, really, starting with changing your presets in your car radio.
Right.
But besides that, I don't want to support him. But the comment was, and correct me if I'm wrong, to be more specific. At least this is what got me. At least we agree on cars. Like, that's his way of acknowledging there's nothing else. You're absolutely batshit crazy on everything you have to say, except you got a nice car.
Well, I mean, it was inverse of that. I see maybe where you're going, but it was inverse of that because the neighbor said, we may disagree on politics, but at least we have great taste in cars. We appreciate each other that way. So he brought up something that wasn't a part of the conversation, and it was a negative thing that didn't need to be brought up. So I'm like, that's where you're twice off base. But the reason that you're bringing it up is by way of saying, I can appreciate your taste in cars, even though I can't get past your politics.
And I'm just saying, you couldn't have said, that's an awesome car.
Right. Happy birthday.
This must be a tough time for you, getting rid of a kid in a car.
Look how great that car
Especially such a good-looking car like that.
Right,
I mean,
right.
You had to be a dick.
Now I'm coming all the way full circle to maybe this, and I'm not going to call him a dick. Maybe this is a guy thing. Maybe he thinks he is being, go my sports team cute. Right, which is what this was excused away before from our friend. Well, I posted something, and it was in the realm of political. So one would think, and I have kind of like a private name that I do whenever I'm talking about politics, so that there's stuff on Facebook that nobody in our group here listening, podcast listeners, would see. Right, so it's already a kind of a protected space. And I posted something that was political in nature, I think. Even though this is about as overt as I get, I will read you what I posted. Here it is, quote, I used to have such high ideals for our nation. Now I'm glad if we receive mail. That's it. That's all I said. And the intent in posting it, I'll get to in a minute. But I'm talking milliseconds after I posted it. There's neighbor. And I'm already thinking, how are you reading my, so already.
What is your algorithm
It's that
tell
thing.
you?
It's that weird thing where you end up with these people who you have very, very little actual contact with, but based on 2 or 3 exchanges, then magically they're number 1 in your feed forever. Cat video. Anyway, okay. So he writes, well, ... Ferrari does suck this year. Funny emoji face. Who would have thought they would have gotten their cars so wrong this year?
Oh, so he's sticking with at least we agree about cars.
His rival team, McLaren, has been beating Ferrari mercilessly, has the best driver ever, arguably, if this continues, will surpass Michael Schumacher, God rest him, who is the world's finest driver ever for Ferrari. So this is like has nothing to do. It has nothing, but we're back to it. It's like, but this was the politics post. Charlie, you're supposed to talk politics in the politics post or not. You're not supposed to bring cars into the politics post, and you're not supposed to bring politics into the cars post. Do you not know what you're doing? Like, what am I missing here? The whole thing was like,
or do you know what you're doing and say, and what he's saying is, I completely disagree with you. Here we go again. Now you're in politics.
He was saying,
now I'll talk about
and
cars.
it is really personal for a lot of folks in town because Louis DeJoy, new Postmaster General of the United States Post Office, lives down the street. Not fucking kidding. He was plucked from here. So, and my favorite part about this whole wacky exchange, because I was even like, did he put that on the wrong timeline? Does he think he's posting somewhere? Because it's so non-apropos. I thought, okay, maybe maybe this will be deleted in 10 minutes. No.
You really have to meet him.
So next, here's my triple favorite. This is a triple down favorite. Then I have a guy that I used to work with who I never see and wasn't close with anyway when we worked together. He chimes in. It's like, hey, person I tangentially sat several offices away from 80 years ago. Let's hear what you have to say on this topic. And he writes, calling out that person by name, because you know how it does. He says, and you can't blame that one on Bernie.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, I don't even support Bernie Sanders. It's like, what? Where am I in Bizarro world? Like, what? My whole point in posting that thing is that why am I clarified it later, I am too young a person, old as I am, I'm too young a person to be preoccupied with the post office. Like, that's how little our demands have become. To me, that was the irony and the sadness of that post. Yeah, that is in the realm of politics because it's being governed by the current administration. It's still so tame compared to what could have been said or shared. to have these two duking it out on my front lawn about nothing. The whole thing. Facebook is a madhouse.
I think you delete the whole thing. Or here's the best part. You delete that whole thread and then you post the exact same thing again and see what happens.
Oh my God. Oh, and I even forgot to say, then another friend of mine chimes in and comments on it from a racial perspective. And so then there's a whole sub-thread of this post that's talking about the current status of race in our country, which I support. But it's like, again, we're talking about the mail.
Look, if I'm going to whine about subject A, I don't need all of you bringing in your shit to my subject. Don't you have your own pages to comment on about shit like that?
This is why people leave Facebook. And I'm not saying fix it, Facebook. No, quite the opposite. I'm saying this is why we can't have nice things. And Facebook ain't that nice. I'm just saying, people, figure it out. When you're standing in the produce section, that's not the time to get into a physical argument with someone over meat. You know, we understand we're compartmental.
Are you sure?
I don't know. I don't have any analogies because it's so fucking weird.
Yeah, that's fucked up. I would delete it and then post the exact same thing again and see what sort of riot that incites.
I don't know this whole thing. I don't understand how the world works, I think. Firstly, I wanted to give a shout out to a dear darling, dear listener who has purchased some of our swag on TeePublic and posted a social media post wearing said swag. It is, in fact, a young woman, gorgeous, by the name of Tess from Delaware, and she's wearing a face mask that proudly proclaims,
"Shut up,
Noich," all the way across the fucking front of the face mask.
Oh my God, Tess, I love you so much, and I didn't know that face mask existed.
Neither did I. I totally forgot that it was out there, and I was so excited to see it, and I found it hilarious.
Did she post it to our Facebook page?
She posted it. I'm not sure if it was a Snapchat or where it was, but she posted it in such a way where it make its way to me. So I'm sure you have access to it too, but I will find it. I will find it and I will repost it because it is delicious.
Tess, if this human does not get to it, I would love it. Dear listener, all of you, if you have our swag and you have, please tag us on Insta, Listen Brilliant, and put it on Facebook, Brilliant Squad Pod Flood Smud. Yeah, we want to see it.
We do. And it's all in the pursuit of, as we continue this fine, fair enterprise of, maintaining our podcast friendship with all of you guys, talking at you through the airwaves. We do want you talking at us through the airwaves as well. It is a two-way relationship. Most of the time we hog the mic and just talk at you, but it is really beneficial when we get to hear from you. Like we mentioned at the top. Well, we mentioned at the top that you were on the socials enough to even know that Cameron had a major life event in losing a pet. That's a big deal. So to be able to reach out and share that sorrow and say, God, that sucks, and see if there's something we can do to brighten your day. That happens when there's two-way communication. So please check us out in lots of the socials and keep us informed of what's important to you. It is
because you are important to us.
Absolutely. And there's so much going on in the world. You mentioned Michelle Obama and her podcast and mentioning that she was dealing with low-grade depression. She's not alone. And I invite you to find her podcast and listen to it. It is quite good. We'd love to give recommendations for things that are good and great. And it's good not because she's a good podcaster. It's good because she has a point of view that's worth listening to. So you'll even hear she does some things on the podcast that, she puts some mistakes out there when you listen to it. So it's not about her being an on-air personality. It's about her saying things like, I'm living through this moment, and everyone can say and see how much power and privilege I have in this moment, and it's still
not helping,
knocking my knees out. It's still knocking my knees out. So, I mentioned earlier on the pod, there was a checkout cashier who was just singing a hymn because it was the only way she could get through her shift, probably without falling down or crying. And all I had to say is this ugly person who she was serving was how much I didn't like it because, gosh, she might be spreading disease. The reality is, whatever you're doing to get through this thing, keep it up, because you need it and we all need it. And finding the smile is really tough. Sometimes it's even hard on this podcast. I've got, sadness with the kid going away. We've got the younger two preparing to go back to school. I don't know in your house if you're already on virtual learning for the next 9 weeks or 900 weeks or whatever they've decided in your city and town. What have they decided for you?
We're doing a hybrid. My kids are going to school for 2 days. You can choose to do virtual. I think almost 20% of our school community is going to go all virtual, which knocks us down to 80%. They're halving that, so he'll be going to school with about 40%. They will be going with 40% of their classmates, so less than half of. So if there's a 24-person classroom, they're down to like 10, 11 kids in that classroom, depending. And they can socially distance like that. Masks are mandatory. Somebody said, my child has reasons that they can't wear a mask, and they said that's the reason your kid's going to go virtual. You have to wear a mask in school, 0 tolerance for not wearing it, and you can be shoved to virtual at any point because of behaviors.
What are your thoughts on this Georgia school with the packed hallways with kids not wearing masks, and then the school administrator saying we can't enforce a mask policy? That's the part I'd like to ask about. We can't enforce a mask policy.
You can enforce your skirt's too short. You can enforce that tube top bullshit by sending our friend's kid home from school because, of course, you can enforce it. And if parents are made to come up with plan B for their children because they got kicked out for not, it's the same thing as a dress code. Mask is part of the dress code. You bounce people all the time for very similar problems. And if you can't keep up with it, you just cannot be in the population. I much prefer you enforcing masks than a short skirt because boys could be distracted. Don't get me started.
Have you heard anything about these hyper affluent communities of parents who are creating homeschooling pods for their kids and employing teachers to serve as kind of like the Little House on the Prairie style homeschool nanny administrator? You think it's
fine?
Okay?
Go ahead. They're not getting funding. They're doing it on
No,
their
own. They're creating a bubble. There's $100,000 for the teacher and up to 10. It's X number of tuition for kids. Actually, I had heard about a bunch of people doing it. I had also tangentially heard about some friends who are sticking with public school here, trying to get learning pods together for their kids to try and make things happen. But fellow podcaster and a listener, Jinja, actually posted in Chicago the cost of one of these things, and it was something like $80,000 per student, and you could have like up to 4 students per teacher. Like it was just astronomically high.
But that is being funded like it's college tuition from the parents. It's not getting any.
I don't know what the comparison to college tuition is. That is like saying I'm buying a ticket to go to the movie. Like it is a private. You're creating.
Right. It has nothing to do with federal funding. There's no.
No, it's like I'm having a party, and the cost of the DJ at my party is $80,000. I don't know why that would be the case, but you know what I mean? Yeah. They just decided to invent this thing and pay for it.
That's fewer kids in my kids' school. It makes it easier for teachers to have any one-on-one time with my kids from 6 feet. And I'm fine with it. You want to do a sneak around? It's almost as much fun as a reach around. Whatever you have to do to educate.
What are those two things?
I don't know.
What's the difference between a sneak around and a reach around? What is it?
A sneak around is avoiding the rules. A reach around is a ring.
Oh, I thought it was another sex thing I had to get caught up on. Okay. Well, I guess that feels good. I know what the sex things are.
Some people are moving to cyber or charter schools as opposed to our school's virtual plan.
I know a woman who that was her whole bag anyway, pre-COVID. She existed to be a coach of sorts for kids who do not thrive in the in-person setting, so they're all online all the time. And she exists as kind of the, hey, you didn't do your online work today. She's the online parent
compliance. She's
person.
Compliance.
Yeah, and so she said, in the early days, if this isn't working for you, I'm a coach. I do this all the time. Let me help you make spring semester work for you. And now she's saying, if you'd like to join our school, how'd you do it? Here's how you do it. Our little school, it's we do just fine, making national news now for how we're doing things. So I'm pleased about that. What was interesting to me is little no more. We used to, in the summer, have between 15 and 25 applications for new students each summer. That's basically what it is. You lose about, 10 to 15, you gain about 10 to 15. And so it's pretty much balances out year to year. This year, since July, we have had 119 students join our school. They're flocking to us. So my little school has now grown significantly. Yeah, 119. So, and we're still doing
Holy cow.
they've just changed the opening week of school from whatever their plan was. They did a trial run over the summer with a handful of volunteers, students who came for like seniors rising seniors who came for college boot camp. So they did some learning with them and asked them, now, first week of school is, if your name is A through K, you come on this day. If your name is, L through Z, you come on the next day. And then the third day is a teacher work day. So you're in for 1 day, off for 2 days, in for 1 day, off for 2 days. And they'll do that for a period of time. And then they'll go back.
I like the let's reassess. We are Tuesday, Thursday right now because we're in the A to K. And if shit goes sideways, they have a plan. There is a virtual plan. We'll all just go right into
These are the 5 plans. You know where you are. You
know
what's getting ready to happen. We've changed out the, honestly, the filtration system. They swapped it out for a hospital grade, and
I love it.
Half the shit's outside. It's a smaller census. We're not dealing with. There are 900 people total in the entire school. I know high schools where that's half of their freshman class. It's a very different setup.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, they can be controlled differently, but it's still.
I'll let you know.
It's a little bit, quake in the boot time.
We'll talk about how it goes because we'll definitely chat if our kids are sent home due to stupidity. But again, don't talk to me until you have facts. Your job is to come up with plan A through Q. If it's a flow chart, does this happen? Is this test positive? Is it a teacher? Are we out of teachers? Do we have subs? That's
there's another thing we have to do, that we have to use an app. They've created this. It's not created, but whatever. We're all required to use this app where you take your child's temperature at home and you have to submit it by 7:45 a.m. that day. And this, based on the results, the school will either let you come to school or not. So they're checking everybody like at home before you even get to campus to get authorization to come to school. And
I like that.
That's good. Yeah. So there's sort of this daily monitoring, and you have to promise to this. It's the honor system. Let's hope people are honorable.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Let's hope that. Show me 3.
I'm honorable. I use a Topsheet, for fuck's sake. You can trust me.
I don't. I'm a deviant.
Look it.
No,
I don't even know what to say.
I like the feel of that down comforter. I am.
So you won't wear a robe.
I don't wear a robe. Right.
What is wrong with you?
Please ask my mother. She asked me that for years.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
So you think Stuart's cleaned up the pee and the poo? Oh, and one of the dogs, obviously we only have one male, lifted his leg on the grandfather clock, which looks like a tree.
Do you still have that dog? Because I know you still have the clock.
Stuart lost his shit this morning, so he cleaned up. He took out the dog wash.
Why did that happen?
I don't know.
What's going on?
You know why? Because you feed them in the morning and then you let them out again after they eat. And he didn't. He sat down and he watched some stupid Last Chance U on Netflix.
Oh, but that's worth watching. My husband is a huge devotee. Loves it from the beginning. I hate it. It is so hard. It is awful, but it is incredible.
Well, that's the reason we had shit on the front, rug, and then somebody lifted a leg on the grandfather clock.
I can't believe that. I just don't.
It was awful.
And the grandfather clock is so near the door. You would think he would just pee on the door.
Pee on the door. By the way, 0 days. So I'll let you know. 0 days since last.
So what have you? So you've been watching. You mentioned that you guys have been watching Troy. Do you watch Umbrella Academy? Are you a big devotee?
We're gonna start that together. The second season came out. Mallory said she cried. So I'm like,
has she seen it?
Yeah.
Has she seen it?
Yeah.
It's so good.
Ellen Page is older than everybody else in that. I'm gonna have to suspend what I know about her and see if her acting's good enough to pull me in and make me think.
And she's supposed to be playing someone. They're all supposed to be playing people who are quite young adults.
Yeah,
like barely out of teenagehood, young adults.
Right. And if you just saw Juno 10 years ago, and she was pregnant and in high school,
I'll say this about Ellen Page. I work hard to love her. I support everything that she does, and I think that she is entertaining to watch. But I'm not racing out to buy my tickets for the next Ellen Page thing. So I don't have any problem with her. But yeah, I'm not watching it for the scenes with her in it. And she does a fine job. So I'm telling you this. I loved season 1 of Umbrella Academy. I don't know if you did.
I didn't see it yet.
Are you going to start there, or are you just going to skip to season 2?
No, we're going to season 1 first.
So, but Mallory's seen both
seasons
1 and 2?
Yep.
I would ask her this question. I loved season 1 and couldn't wait for season 2. And when season 2 came, I loved it so much more. I don't even know why I liked season 1.
Wow.
And there are people who say, Brian was saying this, that couldn't remember where he heard it, but he said, I thought I heard somebody say that they hated season 2. The difference is season 2 feels like a real departure, but I think it's a departure in a so much more interesting, exciting, better, great, all the best parts of season 1 without a lot of it's less put on a crazy mask and shoot everybody with a massive machine gun. Like, I just don't need to see that I don't need to see it ever.
There's more depth to it.
Yeah, I would cover the screen when that would happen. And then it focuses on the characters who I like. And it spends a lot of time on the character who I like the best.
Which is why she cried when her character died. Right.
My favorite. Huh? I don't remember anybody dying. In season 2?
Yeah.
I don't remember anybody
thinking
dying.
About something else? No, I think that's it. Oh, and she said she saw Pride and Prejudice.
Which one?
The good one.
Yeah, you should. Good one. They're all good.
I love you.
I love. You've bewitched me, body and soul.
Body and soul. Ugh, that one. It's on a constant loop.
He's super good. And he's another one. He's only good in that movie. If you watch him in other movies, you're like, what happened to you? You're not any good. He's one of the Musketeers, and he's a dope. Doesn't look good. Doesn't act good. He's in a lot of stuff. And then he's in that one, and you're like, yeah, that's for you. You should never
Ever
act again.
again.
This is it. You're the one-hit wonder.
Go
Ride
out on
it.
that high note.
That's how it's going to be. Yep. And buy another one of them trench coats and walk across in the morning time. That's fine for me. And I don't even wake up in the morning. So if I'm going to get up, you better be walking across in the foggy knoll. What do they call that shit?
Yeah.
The moor.
The moor. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You're right. It's the moor. Dear listener, thank you so much for being here with us.
I want some moor.
But there is no moor. We are done. Thank you for listening. We love you guys.
Sweet, sweet, sweet. Stay smiling. Keep it happy.